Hello, my name is Barbara Levan. I'm a teacher for the Peripheral Institute, and I teach in the neuromeningeal program levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm also a visceral manipulation teacher for levels 1, 2, and 3. Today I'd like to talk about a technique that you might find beneficial in the level 2 of the neuromeningeal program, and that would be looking at the brachial plexus in a little more detail. In level 1, you learn about the brachial plexus and how to relate that to lateral spinal dural restrictions that you may find in the cervical spine. But in level 2, you learn about fixations within the brachial plexus itself, and 3 potential places that we typically find involved would be the supraclavicular part, and then the second middle part would be the retroclavicular, and then you can also see restrictions in the inferior or in the axilla area, or what we call the infraclavicular area of the brachial plexus. So oftentimes you find retroclavicular restrictions when patients fall out onto outstretched arms or hold their arms on a steering wheel anticipating an impact. Different fractures of the upper body or clavicle especially can cause restrictions in this retroclavicular area. So I'll demonstrate looking at this technique. So when we're looking at the retroclavicular part of the brachial plexus, we're picturing an hourglass shape of the plexus where it comes wide at the top as it comes through the anterior middle scalenes, and then it narrows as it goes behind the clavicle and between the clavicle and the first rib, and then it can widen again as it goes into the infraclavicular portion. If we want to assess the mobility of the brachial plexus behind the clavicle and in front of the first rib, we can do so by having our patient lie with the involved side up. You can rest your fingers very gently just above the clavicle, feeling for the subclavian artery to help orient where you want to be. With your fingers resting in that location, you're going to open the clamp between the clavicle and the first rib by taking the shoulder forward without trying to press in any more deeply. And then to gain even more access behind the clavicle, you can take the whole shoulder upward or cephalad in order to gain access behind the clavicle. When you access behind the clavicle, you're trying to feel around the fibers of the brachial plexus at this portion, and you're trying to see, is it restricted more against the clavicle, which would be more anterior, superior, or is it restricted more posterior, inferior against the first rib? And so you're trying to assess that mobility, but oftentimes you can't even access the nerves of the brachial plexus in this area because of the connective tissue tightness around those fibers. And so you can have 2 types of fixations, one of the connective tissues themselves and one of the brachial plexus nerves themselves. So we assess that, treat the connective tissue first, and then the neural elements after.